very thin line between being a dentist.
Good. Give me 5. Right.
Dr. Alan Finestone's a renowned dentist.
And being a mad dentist.
For all that you've done to me.
Maybe things are under control.
Things are under control. Everything is under control.
Open wide.
Being a headmistress of a dance school.
It's nice.
And being a headmistress of a dance school full of a coven of witches. Extremely thin. So at first I was going to talk about occupations in horror movies, but I feel like that's pretty much every job. So instead, let's talk about the top 3 worst places you can work in horror movies. So when you think about the worst places you can work in horror movies, which company and which movies come to mind? It's Zena, your best friend who loves horror, back in the horror library. So let's dive right into this list. So first up, I'm starting with the worst. Umbrella Corporation from the Resident Evil franchise. In the Resident Evil movies, Umbrella was founded by Dr. Alexander Roland Isaac and Dr. James Marcus. After Dr. Marcus successfully developed the T-virus, from there the corporation became known for its ruthless and evil nature. They pretty much sacrificed anyone and anything because they wanted perfection when it came to the T-virus. So beforehand, Umbrella was a well-known pharmaceutical company. This was like before the global outbreak, the outbreak which they created. So I know that this is a fictional company, but honestly, this is by far one of the worst places to work for, in my opinion. The company just oozes evil, and they're pretty much driven by greed. And thanks to their longing for power, they created a worldwide plague that spread across the world, which created a whole zombie apocalypse, and they use kids as guinea pigs. Honestly, there's just so much that I hate about this company. Again, I know it's fiction, but I don't care. But ultimately, they created a deadly virus, and to cover their tracks and make more money, they began working on a vaccine they created. They ruined lives. That's what they did. Maybe in the beginning, they didn't have evil intentions and they weren't trying to take over the world. But at the same time, 7 movies, 1 TV series, and over 29 video games later, I don't know. Seems pretty evil to me.
I am the one, the way you can.
Moving right along, this one is a spoiler, but this movie's an older movie, so I'm going to spoil it. Fair warning, that is The Organization from The Cabin in the Woods, 2012. The plot follows a group of college students who retreat to a remote cabin in the woods where they fall victim to a variety of monsters while technicians manipulate events from an underground facility. So this underground facility, it is known as The Organization. And The Organization is a loose term to describe the worldwide conglomerate that runs the Ancient One's ritual and manages the overall story of each character throughout the film. Basically, when these college students go out to the woods to have a good time at the cabin, middle of nowhere, they are put pretty much through these different scenarios to see if they'll survive. And this company, it pretty much looks like a well-polished lab. They have access to weapons, surveillance, and other things in order to sacrifice innocent people for rituals. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a fan of experiments, let alone A&B testing, so not too sure how these people could move forward with this. So I recently rewatched this movie after years. The last time I watched it, it was in theaters back in 2012, and I had so much fun with this one, especially revisiting it, and I knew where it was going, but seeing like the build-up, like I can say this, it did feel like the horror version of the Truman Show, you know? And then also as a horror fan, but then also as a viewer, it kind of felt like we were going through like an exam. So say if you haven't seen this movie, and I kind of did spoil it, I still think that you should check it out because it is a great experience. And finally, Weyland-Yutani, aka the company from the Alien franchise. So this company has been sending the working class into insanely dangerous situations simply because they wanted to get a hold of a xenomorph because they want to use it as a weapon. This company has its hands in everything, from advanced technology, robots, weapons, and so much more. This was on the list simply because they are more than happy sacrificing their employees, all because they want to bring horrific terror to their enemies. It's like this company's motto, a statement is, be evil. Plus, Weyland may have killed thousands of people, and once again, this is all for their xenomorph experiments. Alright guys, so that's my list of the top 3 worst places to work in horror movies. As always, I'm interested in knowing what are some of your favorites. Let me know, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye! Maybe in the beginning, they didn't have evil intentions and they weren't trying to take over the world, but at the same time, 7 movies, 1 TV series, and over 29 video games later, I don't know. Seems pretty evil to me.
I am the one, the way you thunder.